So today I would like to bring your attention on the topic of wisdom and panya, Pali word, wisdom. So what is this wisdom and which kind of wisdom we need to develop and why we need to develop this? So in Anguttara Nikaya there is a good Panya Sutta which speak about condition, supporting condition, what may helps, what actually definitely would help. If a person follows this, for him would be easy to develop wisdom. So the condition are the first, the person stay near the teacher or near the person who he consider as a teacher. So, and he have a strong sense of hiriotapa, some sense of shame and like conscious, I would say. So it means like in his presence, I would try to be better. So this person helped me to be more moral or more better person. And they have a strong respect, and I like this person. He's pleasant to me. Then there is a condition for I can learn something from this person. I have respect towards him. So then it's important to time after time ask this person about something what not clear to me. I have some question. I not just, it's good to try to investigate by ourselves, to read some scriptures, but also very helpful to ask this question from the person. It would be easy to understand. Then after he asks questions, the person go to seclusion. So, and Sutta speak about two kinds of seclusion: seclusion by body and seclusion by mind. So, seclusion by body is like direct seclusion. You just go away from the city, from the house, just go to some separate hut, secluded place. And seclusion by mind, it means the person try to be free from unwholesome mental state. So, when I see some unwholesome arise in my mind, I try to get rid of this. I try to not tolerate this state. So then, definitely person have to be virtuous. So the sila is a good foundation. It's a basic. Also, together with this, person need to have the attitude, kind of desire to study the Dhamma, desire to hear the Dhamma, desire to investigate the Dhamma, desire to try to verify. Like one thing I read something or I heard something from the teacher, another thing, do I agree with this? Do I accept it, or I just take it, okay, like it's his idea and it's nothing to do with me. So we need to try to understand like why it's relevant to me, why it's important for my practice, this knowledge. Also, the person need to be effortful. So we need to have a strong effort to get rid or abandon unwholesome mental state and develop wholesome. So we need to see kind of danger, why it's dangerous, why it's unbeneficial to like angry mind, for example, or mind full of lust or full of like sensual desire, strong, uncontrollable sensual desire. So, and seeing danger in it, person have a strong effort to abandon this state and develop wholesome mind. And the person have a quality of he don't speak nonsense. He don't speak empty, useless talks. So when the person gather together with other people, like if it's a monk together with other monks, if it's a lay person together with other practitioners, he do not speak about some just empty conversation. Just speak about politics, speak about some non-beneficial topics. And he usually try to ask, he speak Dhamma himself, or if he cannot, he ask knowledgeable people to speak Dhamma. He just come to person and say, oh please, what you know, share your understanding about this and that. Or if it's impossible for himself or for people around, just to keep noble silence, just to be mostly in silence and speak only what is necessary, only what is minimum required for some business, whatever we gather together. And lastly, the person need to see and observe the 5 aggregates of clinging, panchakanda, and he understand what is this. He understand how it's arise, and he understand why it cease, how it's happening, the like ending or cessation of this process. So what are the 5 aggregates? It's like form, physical form. Yeah, we need to understand that this is the body, this is the rupa, this is the physical form, and how it arises, like what's happening that this physical body appear. So we may investigate something like, okay, because my mother and father had some intercourse, my body was born, yeah, and then I eat some food during my life. This also have a cause of my body change and improvement. And so many conditions just to try to reflect that this body is not just by my will or by my desire, this and that. So a lot of conditions, weather and stuff like this. And also try to reflect how this body disappear. What's happening, what is the cause and what is the reason of this body is just to vanish or fade away. Yeah, just maybe after some time, some disease may happen, yeah, or even just stop food, just stop feeding this body. And how long person can be without food, without water? Not really long. Sooner or later body will die because of lack of nutriment. So, and also next one is the feelings. That it's Vedana, pleasant feelings, unpleasant feelings, neutral feelings. So we need to know what are them. We need to see in our experience. And we need to know how they arise, what's happening that these feelings arise. So usually it's happened because of the contact. I mean, contact with the sense door. Like, for example, I see the object, there is a contact with eye. Yeah, I hear the sound, there is a contact with ear. Yeah, I sense the body, contact with body. And because of this contact, some feelings arise. So I feel this is pleasant. I see on the green tree, I feel pleasant. Yeah, I hear the beautiful sound, I feel pleasant, or I feel unpleasant. So this is the cause, the contact is the cause. But again, our job is to verify, to try to understand why. And like really, I have a feelings, yeah, I can see that pleasant, unpleasant, but what is the cause and what is the reason for this? This is our job, to develop wisdom. Then with the stop, with the extinction, or if this passes, this contact does not happen anymore, there is no feelings. So I saw a beautiful tree, I had pleasant feelings, then I change my view, like my eyes somewhere, and these pleasant feelings not happening anymore. So no contact, no feelings. Same way with the perception and sankhara, volitional formation. So perception is kind of labeling or categorization, or like how I perceive things, what's name appear. When I see it again on this beautiful tree, pleasant feelings arise, and together with this arise understanding. Okay, it's pleasant, or it's tree, or it's a good to see a tree, like I'm Greenpeace guy, So all these kind of ideas and like concepts, it's a sanya. So all of them also arise because of the passa, because of the contact. Because if there is no contact, there is no this kind of perception. And volitional formation, sankhara, it's our reaction on experience. So we have some experience, we may react on this. We may have a desire towards it, or we may have aversion towards it. So any kind of reaction towards experience, intentional reaction. So this also we may see, it arises because of the contact. There is a contact, I have a reaction, this or that, pleasant or unpleasant. But there is no contact, there is no reaction. And lastly, consciousness. Consciousness, it's a process of seeing, process of hearing, process of sensing, and so on. Process of thinking. So just this kind of process happening. And what's the reason? Why this consciousness arise? So this, I think, more interesting to see, because it's not so obvious. Like with feelings, okay, it's obvious that when I see on something, there is a feelings arise. But with consciousness, the suttas say that reason for the consciousness is nama-rupa. It's name and form, or mentality and materiality. So in another word, like objects of the consciousness. So there is a consciousness and there is the objects of the consciousness. Yeah, what consciousness may experience, but it can be form, it can be mental aspects, everything. And if there is no object of the consciousness, there is no consciousness arise. And if there is an object of the consciousness, there is a consciousness to arise. So this is something what we need to see with a proper wisdom, with a proper understanding, and this kind of requirement for wisdom to arise. Then, in another sutta, someone asked, who is the person who have a panya, who have a wisdom? And the answer is a person who clearly see Four Noble Truths. Yeah, like Four Noble Truths, we know that this is... One thing about Four Noble Truths, this is compounds, yeah, a Pali word Arya Satya, and it can be translated a little bit differently. One says it can be Four Noble Truths, yeah. Another opinion, it can be like the truth for the noble one. So the difference is, if I say it's a noble truth, I perceive it as like the ultimate truth, what I have to believe. Like God creates this universe, yeah, in Christianity, and we have to believe. We not question this. Or like the Jesus, it's a son of the God. It's a noble truth, yeah. We have to believe if we Christian people. So I think here it's slightly different. Here it's something like, if I can Buddhist, if I consider myself as a person who try to spiritually develop, this need to be verified by me. And this truth, I need to understand that, okay, this is really truth. This is not just something what I have to believe, but this is something what I can check in my experience. Because it's nothing to do with some theoretical knowledge. It's practical thing. And if we have this attitude, we may go through like noble truths as, like first noble truth, like there is a dukkha, yeah, idam dukkham, there is a suffering or dissatisfactory. Also, to understand more deeply what is dukkha, at least theoretically, I like one story. It says, like in the past, now we have cars, like cars, motorbikes and stuff like this. In the past, they have a similar things like chariots, like similar things, but not cars. And this every chariot have wheels, and between wheels there is a kind of axle. There's a kind of stick, and this stick, when it touches a wheel, there is a hole in the wheel, the middle hole, and this hole on Pali they call it kha, and we know dukkha it's come from prefix dur and kha, and sukha from su and kha. So, and they say like, if this hole is a good one, so it's like properly managed and stuff like this, the person who drives on this chariot, he feel pleasant, he feel easy, he feel comfortable. So it's sukha. But if this hole is bad, so it's dukkha. It's like uncomfortable, unpleasant, unsatisfactory. So to me, I mean, it's true or not, we don't know. It's just a story. But to me, it's a little bit clarifies the meaning of the word dukkha, because it's not just suffering. It's kind of unease, unpleasantness, unsatisfactory. And so if we take it as a truth what needs to be investigated by the Buddhist, by the noble one, we see that, try to see in our experience how I understand the suffering. What is dukkha? What is dukkha in my experience? Like on more gross level, it can be obvious that I want something and I don't get something, I'm suffer. Or I don't want to meet with some person and it happened, I meet with him, I'm suffer. Yeah. So, and on more subtle level, it can be what Buddha says, that 5 aggregates subject to clinging, they are dukkha, they are suffering. So any kind of experience, if a person in deep state of meditation, yeah, he's in equanimity, he's in upekkha, he's like very calm and pleasant. For him, any movement of the mind, it's dukkha, it's uncomfortable, it's unsatisfactory. Even slight interest towards object, or slight aversion, or like movement from the object, this is slight movement of the mind, it's dukkha for some person who in deep state of meditation. So whatever dukkha available to you, we need to investigate it, we need to verify it and try to understand it. And the second noble truth said, try to see what's the reason of this dukkha, why this dukkha arises, what's happening. So the sutta say like tanha, craving, desire or thirst. Also try to verify it, try to understand, is it true that like I have this suffering, or this dissatisfactory because I have some desire. Also, this needs to be understood and verified. And sooner or later, my desire comes. Try to let go of this desire. Maybe I can try to let go, and then maybe I can be free from suffering what I have. Try to understand it and try to let go of it. Also, it's something to be understand. And there is a way what leads to cessation of suffering. Yeah, we need to. One thing we need to link why, like right view, right effort, right intention, and so on. Why is it beneficial for be free from suffering? Is it true or not? Or we need to verify it. Another thing, we need to practice it. We need to understand it. So, and lastly, what I want to say is that in Dhammapada, we may find that for a person who wants to develop wisdom, this person cannot develop wisdom without jhanati, without meditation, without stability of the mind. And the opposite, for a person who wants to develop stability of the mind, he needs to develop wisdom. So these two come together. And the person who develops both of them, he close to Nibbana. So it's a very common saying, yeah, Sila, Samadhi, Panya. Sila is the foundation of our liberation. Samadhi is kind of walls of our house. And Panya is wisdom. And all of them important. We cannot remove something. So I wish all of us to have conditions to develop wisdom, to develop samadhi, and to have a good teacher, to understand, to try to understand what is dukkha, what is suffering. And finally, while we do all of these things, to be happy, to be ultimately free from suffering and be a happy person.